So this book, Kaufman New Repertoire for Black and White, is very interesting because it covers everything, and it's made with games. I like the idea of following a game and eventually try to remember that example game. The previous book was practically in two sides. One was white and the other was black, so the other started from the other side. This is instead, it's more normal. It's a normal book that you would read from cover to cover. To give you an idea of the content, I will try to show you one game for each line, for each opening or counter opening. So the first thing you must know is that Kaufman advises you to play one e4 as white, and as black there are these new Grunfeld lines that we will show later. The book begins with game 1.1, various opening, the Owen defense. This is a correspondence game from 2008. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us if this correspondence game was played in ICCF. Why? Because ICCF allows the use of engine, okay? So I think that's kind of very interesting. So remember, this is also a funny thing. Kaufman tells you to play one e4, but I think is a one d4 player, because I have seen his memoir and many of these games were all with one d4. b6, and he says here, this is called Owen's defense, named after one of Morphy's opponents in the middle of the 1800. d4, e6. Now keep in mind that it's not only a question of Owen's defense, but there is also the famous hippopotamus in this kind of strange openings. Knight f3, bishop b7, and bishop d3. So white refrains for playing knight c3 to avoid the pin, okay? So that's the reason I played bishop d3. c5, c3, knight f6, and queen e2. Here there is a diagram, which means that probably the author wants you to give you some lines. In fact, the main line is bishop e7, but there is also d5. Keep in mind that Kaufman, for this repertoire, he heavily uses engines, and his engines of use are obviously Komodo, the dragon, that is a creature because he is the one that helped develop it, and also Lila Zero, that is very famous for the usage of this neural network. Notice this is a repertoire from 2019. Today we are already at Stockfish 17, no? So that's kind of scary, right? How fast things can go. The lines he gives are kind of long, very long in the book, and I will show you in fact this d5 just to give you an idea, okay? e5, knight f d7, castle, and bishop e7. And here makes a comment that says resembles an advanced variation of a French defense where black has played quite passively, but black has scored pretty well from this position. And here it continues with a3, c4, bishop c2, b5, knight e1, h5. I don't know, it seems that white is very passive already, you know, because black is really attacking. Queen e3, knight c6, queen g3, g5, f4, g4, f5, queen b6, bishop e3, long castle, h4, king b8, and knight d2. And here we are at move 18, and Kaufman writes plus 0.39. White is slightly better, but LC0 gives a much higher score. White has a space advantage and plans to play b3 or b4. Okay? He can either close off the king side or open the file as conditions warrant. And this is the end. So this is a nice thing that Kaufman did. He gave a numerical evaluation, 0.39, but he also gave you the explanation of why white is slightly better. Why white is slightly better? Because it has a space advantage. That's what he says. And then, of course, there is the plan of attacking this side. I don't know. So I will now return to the beginning position from which we saw this line. Okay, this was the position after move 6 of white, queen e2. Black continues with bishop e7. We saw what happens in case of d5. Notice, however, one thing. He gave us only e5. It could be interesting to know what happens if e takes d5, right? So, but that wasn't covered from what I see. In any case, bishop e7, castle, knight c6, e5, knight d5, d takes c5. And here there is a diagram. Why there is a diagram? Because there are two choices. One is bishop takes c5, that is the game move. By the way, the game 1.1 was between Othmar Zenker against Frank Bendik. So, in the game it was played bishop takes c5, but Kaufman gives us also the other move, b takes c5, and tell us what's gonna happen. He follows with c4, knight b6, knight c3, castle, queen e4, threatening checkmate, g6, stopping the checkmate, bishop h6, f5, queen f4, rook f7, and rook a d1, and white is better. Here the score is 0.767 for white. Also here it says white has space pressure on d7. Sorry, white has space pressure on d7 and attacking chances on the king side. Okay, that's the reason of this 0.67 advantage to white. And now I will return back. Okay, this was the position. We just saw what happens if b takes c5. Now we see what happened in the game with bishop takes c5. By the way, many say that it's not important to study the openings. I disagree, because in this case we are studying an entire game, one. Two, the openings have some ideas. For example, when I saw e5, knight d5, the possibility to go on b6, it resembled the Alekhine defense. So I was thinking about that, or the little differences between the two. Okay? So to study the openings is fundamental, not because you want to memorize the stuff, but because you want to understand the ideas behind where the pieces land, why they land in both squares, and in general to grasp all the consequences of what we play. Okay? So after bishop takes c5, the game continues with bishop e4. By the way, honestly, guys, one thing I found useful is that I do this review from the side of the winner. Then I also watch my videos, and when I watch my videos, as you can see, okay, no, I do the review from the side of the loser, and you will see it from the side of the winner. When I go to watch my video, I see it from the side of the winner, so it's kind of useful. And in this case, it teaches me already the right moves. So I'm honestly using also this thing of making the videos as a tool for improvement. And you should do it too, right? So I just give you an idea, because I think we all are in this journey of chess improvement. We all love to improve, and so let's share ideas, techniques and ways, right? So after bishop e4 there was a castle, rook d1 and e5. So now you must understand that this is a game, a real game, so please pause the video and try to find white's next move. What is white's next move? I believe it's very, very important. By the way, instead of a5 in the book they say this f5, but in the game was played a5. Okay, so pause the video, try to find what is the next move. The next move is bishop takes h7 check. It seems that also a3 was a good move, but let's continue. King takes h7, knight g5, king g6, and when the king has to go so far out, you already know that something is gonna go bad. h4, and now there is knight takes e5, which is given an exclamation point, which means is a very good move. And here it says the best chance. This is the best chance for black. So next move is queen takes c5 and rook h8. Here there is a line with f5, but in the end it says black has enough compensation for the pawn, but is also down in the exchange. So maybe, I'm not sure if you would like that kind of line, if you were black obviously, but if you were white, I think that works, right? So after rook h8, I think there is another interesting move that maybe you could try to find, and so please pause the video, you're white, try to find the move. If you don't care, just continue, and is rook takes d5. Boom. Bishop takes d5. Queen g3. Queen e8. c4. Obviously, c4 looks like a trap, and you need to find out why it's a trap, because it's clearly a trap, okay? So, what would happen if bishop takes c4, okay? I think the move is probably queen f4, threatening, no, probably not, let's see. Okay, so probably the move would be something different, like removing the knight. Okay, but eventually let me know if you think you have found a better thing of me. However, in the game they played bishop c6, which means there is a double attack somewhere, also if I don't see it. Okay. Oh, for example, bishop takes c4. Sorry, I'm curious because I don't know. It's interesting. It's a very interesting situation. Okay, but being a correspondence game, it's clear that black didn't consider bishop takes c4 a good move, right? So let's see what black played. He played bishop c6. And after bishop c6, please find the next move by white, yes, for black. The next move is knight takes e6, discovery check. King f6, knight takes c5, and then we have b takes c5, knight c3, king e7, and here white is better, is given a better sign with an advantage of 1.04 because white plays this move. Queen takes g7. Notice you cannot play that because bishop g5 or queen g5 will take the rook back, okay? So that's why you cannot take it. And here it says that with 2 pawns for the exchange and a huge advantage in king safety, white is close to winning. So the game continued with d6, queen g4, trying probably to block the escape, king f8, bishop g5, as you can see, is blocking the escape of the king, so he's trying to give a checkmate. Queen e5, rook d1, rook e8, f4, queen e3, check, king h2, queen f2, rook takes d6, bishop takes g2, because you want to give a discovery check, right? With something like that. Queen g3, queen takes g3, king takes g3, and now there is bishop f1, which is threatening this, but white plays b3, and this is a sign as white has a decisive final advantage. Rook g8, f5, bishop takes e4, and let's see what happens. It seems that white could have played this, but instead he preferred to play this move that is very incredible, because it shows like, I don't know, that he want to give checkmate coming here, but the problem is that the file is control, right? So I don't know how he's doing that, it doesn't make much sense. Okay, so let's continue to see the game. Also, if I lost the sign, let's see, yeah, king f4. Now he plays bishop e2, and also this is kind of interesting, right? Knight d5, king g7, h5, bishop takes h5. I don't know, it seems that black is losing. To me, it seems they could have resigned here. Instead, it goes on and on. Okay. So after bishop h5, rook h6, bishop e2, f6, king f8, rook h2, rook takes g5, king takes g5, rook e5 with double attack, king f4, and now there is this interesting move, which is rook h5. Very interesting. Rook takes h5, bishop takes h5, king e5, bishop e2, knight b6. As we can see, he wants to try to give a checkmate in some way, but I don't know, it doesn't seem to work, right? So let's see how she does it. Okay, so it was king e5, bishop e2, knight b6, king e8, king d5, bishop d1, king takes c5, rook d8, king d8, king d6, bishop e2, knight d7, bishop e5, knight e5, attacking this, king e8, a4, let's see, a4, bishop e2, knight c6, bishop d1, and knight takes a5, and here black resign. I hope that you enjoyed this game, and we will see the next from another chapter, okay? To have an idea of what is Kaufman repertoire for black and white. At the moment we are in the white section, we will go in the black section once it's finished the white side, okay? Hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe. Thank you.